Welcome back, and today is a historic moment. This will live in sports infamy. April 6th, 2025 is when, yes, you're seeing this right. This is not fantasy. This is not hypothetical. This is not maybe. This is official. Alex Ovechkin has surpassed Wayne Gretzky as the all-time NHL goal scorer with 895 goals, and did it in the same amount of games that Wayne Gretzky played, 1,487 games. And the unfortunate part, I would say this, that would have made it so much better was if this was home. And luckily for the fans that were able to attend that game, the previous one against Chicago, that at least they were able to witness the game tying goal to tie Wayne Gretzky at 894. But this was huge. They were down 2-0 in the game, and they were on the power play, and of course everyone was on their feet. Everyone was just waiting. It just felt like it was just imminent that it was going to happen. They had two cameras on your screen, the left one being the typical, of course, the game itself, and the right one focusing solely on Alex Ovechkin. And of course, he didn't have to wait that much longer into the power play. He does a signature slap shot, beats the goalie easily, and there you had it, the game-breaking goal of 895. And just to show you how insane this is and how huge this is, and for the NHL and for people who follow it, of how highly we view Wayne Gretzky, we look at him as the undisputed GOAT, of how above and beyond he was in terms of his stats and what he was able to do. You look at Wayne Gretzky for total points. Let's just look at that itself. Between first and second, he has 936 more points than Jaromir Jagr. If you take away the insane part too, it's even crazier of this to really break this down even further. How great Wayne Gretzky was. If you subtract his goals, you take away all his goals and just leave him with points, he's still the all-time points leader. Just in assists alone, he has 1,963. He would still have more than Jaromir Jagr with goals and assists combined, and for anyone else for that factor. That's how on a different level Wayne Gretzky was, and we thought we would never see the points record broken, we never see the assist record broken, and surely enough, we would never see the goal scorer or scoring record broken. If you want to look at assists as well, that's what it breaks down to. And still, again, from Ron Francis, he's still very far away from first place. But that's changed now. Someone who has been an elite scorer as Ovechkin in the last few years, it's really started to look like maybe he can do it. And last year was a little bit of a concern because it was a down season for Ovechkin, and maybe people wondered, is he slowing down? Is this it? Can he reach it? And then all of a sudden, he turned it around and went off this year. And mind you enough, he broke his leg this season and came back in a short period of time and picked up where he left off. And it didn't seem like he lost any momentum, any nature whatsoever of his playing ability. He wasn't slowed down from the injury. He was basically how it was before it. And the fact that he was able to do this right before the season ended in the same amount of games, like I said, what Gretzky played in, is immense. Ovechkin will go down as the greatest goal scorer of all time. Period. End the story. That's what he will go down as, is the greatest goal scorer that we've ever seen. And I know we said this with Wayne Gretzky, or say people before, that were able to watch Wayne Gretzky, probably said this along with everybody, is that we'll never see the goal scoring record broken. And now the fact that we see that a feat like that of Wayne Gretzky's records being defeated by Alex Ovechkin or anybody in that matter is monumental. In terms of his legacy, it's immense to be on that upper echelon of that, on top of course, what he has before a Stanley Cup and all the countless trophies and awards he has. He will be considered as one of the best of all time. And the goal scoring record will carry a lot of weight for that. And if he can somehow win another Stanley Cup this year to cap it off on top of this, I couldn't imagine what his legacy is, between especially him and Crosby, how they always go back and forth. It's immense. And to talk about for anyone who you're looking at for the next active goal scorer or next active player who's in that the record for the goal scoring, you have to go all the way down to Sidney Crosby at 18 for the rank at 622. He is 273 goals away from tying it, or 274 from breaking it. And if you want to try and keep in the same time frame of the 1,487 games, he has 140 games left to score 273 to tie, 274 to pass. That is how difficult it is to score. That is how difficult this record is. It's not easy, even for the greatest we've ever seen, for Sidney Crosby, one of the best players we've ever seen, we've ever witnessed. That is how insane this record is. And you look at the next active person is Steven Stamkos at 579. And you look at that, he is 316 goals away from tying it as well. And he has 329 games to do it, with him playing 1,158, and then for 1,347 for Crosby. That's what it comes down to. And if I break down real quick Ovechkin's history of his goal scoring, he's been elite, no question about that. So this year he has 41 goals in 60 games. Last year 31, and I'm going down the list now: 42, 50, 24, 48, 51, 49, 33, 50, 53, 51. You just see how tough it is to keep that level of consistency year in, year out, and especially the age he is now at 39 years old. Remember, he was drafted in the league in 2004, played in 05. He's been playing for 20 plus years and still able to keep a high level like this. Like, as well as Sidney Crosby, his counterpart as well. But it's historic. It's amazing to see this. It's amazing to witness history of like this, because we're never going to see this happen again. At least in my lifetime, I'm sure for many other people's lifetimes, it's. I feel confident in saying that the same way people thought for Gretzky as well. Never say never. I mean, I'm sure maybe years and decades down the line, it may happen. But for us in our lifetime, I don't think we'll ever see that happen. I'm sorry. It's just you again. You look at the active goal scorers. Crosby's not nowhere near going to come close to that. Steven Stamkos is nowhere near going to come close to that. Maybe there's very young players like some people throw Bedard out there. I mean, it's insane to talk about for him. But maybe there's someone like that comes in and maybe reaches that feat. I don't know. But for Alex Ovechkin, he solidifies himself. Not that he needed this already, but this really solidifies himself with this, not just for NHL, but for sports and history, for records. It's one of the best of all time. And again, he will go down as again, as crazy as it says for Wayne Gretzky, how we always view him highly. Ovechkin will be considered the greatest goal scorer of all time because of this, of just how, and it just shows you how high of a level you have to play in year out at a long career of 20 plus years. That's what it takes. And Ovechkin, I feel confident saying we'll never see someone like that ever again. At least, I shouldn't say ever again, but at least in our lifetimes. Maybe, again, way far in the future it could happen, but for right now, I don't see anyone coming close to that. So congratulations to Alex Ovechkin for making a historic moment, not just in hockey, but in sports history. I can't wait to see how much farther you push this record into in the next few years, however how many years he has left. I don't know if he'll decide to retire after this year, play one more year, or maybe, I mean, dare I say, can he push maybe 1,000? I mean, certainly he'll get to 900 if he decides to play next year. Maybe he can do that the remainder of this season. So let's see we'll see what the rest of the greatness Alex Ovechkin has for his little bit left of his career. Congratulations for making the huge feat, and I can't wait to see what you do for the remainder of the season, especially in the playoffs.